Hey y'all, it's me Tiffany and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time you're here, I mostly do novels, graphic novels, manga, occasionally a movie or television show. Lately I've been hitting a little poetry. I'm going to talk about Alice Walker. She's the one who wrote The Color Purple. I think that's probably her most notable work. She was born in 1944 in Georgia, and apparently she was the children of sharecroppers. And apparently she went blind in one eye, and her mom somehow got a typewriter and she learned how to write, and then she had a scholarship. She went to school and she became a really well-known great author. So I've never read The Color Purple or any of her novels. The only two things I have read I am going to mention here. Hard times require furious dancing and absolute trust and goodness in the earth. These are both of these are poetry books. This one's older than this one, I think. Both of these are phenomenal. I love these. These are definitely good entry poetries. I know I mentioned that in a few other videos about entry poetries, but sometimes, you know, poetry is a little more daunting to read. Some things are a little bit more complex. And I do like those sometimes, but I feel like poetry isn't talked about as much anymore. And I just want to show like great beginner poetry when I find it. So I'm going to start off with this one. So I will say this poetry collection, I think she was in Mexico. I think it says at the beginning for most of this. And this was inspired by 9/11, the events of 9/11. This came out in like 2004, I think. And it came out right before another book, I think. But this one has a lot of stuff about patriotism, 9/11, like anti-war sentiments, like a lot of that stuff. So yeah, that's what this is mostly on. I am going to share a few poems out of this. So in this one, I'm going to kind of do like I did like the Misha Collins and Kelsey Ballerini one. I am going to read 3 out of this one. I don't know if you have this edition, if you care about the page number, but the first one's on page 3 and it says, I can worship you. I can worship you, but I cannot give you everything. If you cannot adore this body, if you cannot put your lips to my clear water, if you cannot rub bellies with my son. I don't know why. That was just such a strong poem to start off with. And I'm going to try not to hit on the, I know I already started reading the first one, but I don't really want to hit too much on like too many ones about 9/11. There is this one about Patriot one that I am going to read, but I was trying to not get the ones that are more detailed about 9/11 just for obvious reasons, and I didn't want all 3 poems I read to be about 9/11, so I do have this Patriot one, but I was trying to give a variety of poems that are in this. Patriot. Page 182 if you have this edition. I guess I could put the little ISBN number on the bottom, if that will help. If you want to show your love for America, love Americans, smile when you see one, flower like his turban rose pink. Rejoice at the eagle feather in a grandfather's braid. If a sister bus rider's hair is especially nappy, a miracle in itself, praise it. How can there be a homeless in a land so cramped with houses, and young children sold as sex snacks, causing our thoughts to flinch and snag? Love your country by loving Americans. Love Americans. Salute the soul and the body of who we spectacularly and sometimes pitifully are. Love us, we are the flag. Okay, so the last one I want to read, Dream of Frida. It was big. It was a sea of shit. Neither she nor I had any notions what to do with it. Our mothers came, one resourceful, the other stout, and using just their thoughts. Soon as they had contained the odious ocean in a pot that was not only clean but shining. Standing over it, slapping palms, they smiled at us, beloved daughters, left suddenly with much less work to do. Then, like satire cat, they disappeared, their smiles like light, the crescent moon upon our foreheads. Frida died that night. We laid her out, well dressed, of course beneath the star-bespeckled sky. There was a cloud for beauty, but even so, she was not under it. At dawn, all the roosters in the world began to crow, and I, my arms widespread, raised her long dark braid to greet the sun. To her funeral not only traveled Diego and many masters who had lived before, but also a long line of stately swaying elephants. Their images left behind them, engraved in stone, came slowly down, gravely down, empathetically down to pay their respects from the hill. Look, I love Frida, so I had to read that poem. But I think this poem does a great variety of things, but this is definitely affected by 9/11. There's a lot of anti-war sentiment. As I said earlier, I think she does a good job criticizing our country, the government, and everything, but also loving people at the same time. I think there's a good balance of both. And you can definitely tell at the time, this was written around that time, because patriotism did go up after 9/11. I was really young, so I don't really remember what life was really like before 9/11, but patriotism went up, a lot of things changed, and you can definitely see the influences around the stuff that time, and I think this one you definitely can. But I think there's a good balance, you know, it's not just like, yeehaw, United States, but it's not just hating America at the same time. Okay, so this one is Hard Times Require Furious Dancing. There is 4 I'm going to read from this because I just couldn't pick 3. So, and I did kind of enjoy this one a little bit more because this one's more about life, and there's like aging and observation and a bunch of that stuff, right? This one's definitely a lot more spiritual. There is art in this, and it's really cute. So I am going to read you if you have this edition, I guess I can give you the page number. I don't know if it matters, but here we are. The first one I want to read is called Lost. Lost. My daughter is lost to me, but I am not lost. She says her freedom to her means having a loving mother, which as Mew is my witness, I have been and am. However, liberation is in the heart of the tethered, as Harriet teaches us. I bow to this history and our difference. Freedom to me means love itself may not be chained, and that I, at the very least, may own myself. Yeah, there's like some Buddhist stuff that's like sprinkled in this too. There is little notes on the bottom. Like this one's about Harriet Tubman, but about other stuff. So she does put notes if you don't understand what's being said. And here's the artwork for that particular poem. So the second poem I want to read is I Know My Duty to Life. I know my duty to life. I was not born tomorrow. How could I know how hard it will be? Our children cooked by an indifferent son, once a goddess, now through negligence and scanty praise, simply fire. I know my duty to life, to stop wars, especially those I cause within myself. Who knew fights with ourselves, each and other, her led to the encirclement of the globe in ice, and all our beloved cousins, fury and non-fury, stuck in it forever. I know my duty to life. I am grateful to have even a glimpse of it. Life gives me this hammock, a close-up view, hands plastered walls, and blue forget-me-nots that bloom within eye's reach. Yes, it is life that has given me this swinging white hammock made of string by humble hands that still pray. This hammock sold for $1 on the beach, littered shamefully, but still beautiful and pure. I see that I, though not born tomorrow, am permitted to swing, suspended to see it from here. And here's the art for that poem. Next time I need to pay more attention. So the next one's called You Came. You came into my life to graze because you were starving. Having gorged until you were full, you are displeased by my hunger. Man, that one right there is probably my favorite. I know I don't really talk much when I read these poems. I don't really talk about how I feel for most of these, but I think we've all been there. So the last one is really short, and I know I didn't say this beforehand, but I kind of did like my last poetry reading. I'm just going by like page order number. I'm not like putting these in any like particular order by preference. It's just easier to do by page number. This one's called Even So. Even so, love, if it is love, never goes away. It is embedded in us, like seams of gold in the earth, waiting for light, waiting to be struck. That one is just so simple, and I really enjoyed it. That's the art that's on that one. The last one didn't have art. Not every poem has art. I think the art in this is very nice. obviously. Like, look at that last page of art. But yeah, this is my first entryway into like Alice Walker. And I was definitely planning on reading The Color Purple, but I didn't know she did so many other things. I've just never really looked heavily into her. I only knew about that one work. And I've seen her name on other stuff, so I knew she did other stuff. I just didn't know what she did. And I know I don't do the English thing about going through each little thing that comes with poetry or each little poem, but like I said earlier, I just kind of want to share more entry-level poetry that I think is really good, and I enjoy reading poetry. I don't know the best way to share about this, but this is how I'm doing. So guys, if you like her work, let me know in the comment section below. Have you read anything by her? Was it just The Color Purple, or have you read other stuff? I love having a conversation with you, and I will see you later. Bye!